Hi everyone, this is Priya and you all are welcome on my channel. In today's video, I am going to do a tutorial on making some masculine style tags. I'm going to call these tags as gentleman's desk. So I'm going to prepare the background of the tags first, and for that I have these papers from Graphics 45 paper pad. I will put a link to this paper pad in the description box below. So I tore these two papers from this paper pad. I just randomly tore them without using the scissors, and I'm inking the edges of these papers. For the ink I'm using is vintage photo ink by Holtz. It's a distress ink, so I tore these pages and I ink the edges, and once that is done I will paste these pages on the tag, which is a recycled cereal box tag. The whole background of this tag is not covered because these papers are not very big in size. So I have this paper. It has got a nice old vintagey script. So I decided to tear some pieces of these papers, and I'm inking these papers again using distress ink in vintage photo, and I will use this paper on this tag as well for the background. Once that all is done, once all my papers are on the tag using PVA glue, I will trim off all the excess pages from this tag, and that will give me a definite background for me to work on it. I also decided to paste a tea-dyed paper for some extra writing space on the back of this tag. So I'm just using a regular tea-dyed paper, and I'm gluing that paper on back of this tag using PVA glue, and I will trim off all the excess of that paper. Now this tag looks ready. It has a nice background, and I can start working on embellishing this background. So the first thing I'm doing, I'm taking this tea-dyed paper, and I'm also taking this French script stamp. It looks like as if it is a little letter, and I have this black ink, and I'm going to stamp this this on stamp on this paper 2-3 times using this French letter stamp and the black ink. I can't find my ruler right now, so I just decided to use this paper. This is a thick paper, so it's just acting as a ruler, and I'm cutting these stamped images from this paper. Use only one image right just now. I will use the other two later in for the tag. So I'm inking this image, this stamped image, using vintage photo distressed ink. I want to make this image look very old, so I'm inking all around the edges, and this paper is tea dyed paper already, so which also makes it look super old. So once that is done, I have this coffee already prepared. This is a very concentrated coffee. I used one a tablespoon of coffee, and I just added 3 or 4 tablespoons of water in it, and I'm using a small cup, and I'm putting this cup on top of my paper. That gives me impressions of coffee on this paper, as if this paper was on the desk and someone put coffee cup on top of this paper. And I'm just letting this coffee run through the paper. This gives a very nice old antique kind of look. So I'm just letting it dry, air dry, and once that dries, it will go, this paper will go on top of my tag. And then I have this paper from Stamperia, this little ephemera, and this other ephemera, which has number 56 on it. This is from an old book I have. I always keep old vintage books because sometimes there are some nice images in the books which could be used for crafting. So I'm taking these two images, these two paper ephemera, and I'm inking the edges of these papers, again using distress ink in vintage photo. So once that is done, all these three things will be pasted on top of the tag. I'm using PVA glue for that. So the first thing, I have this stamped image that goes on top of the my tag. Now these other two papers that I have just inked will go on top of the tag. It's done, and now I am going back to the stamped images that I had. So I had two of these other stamped images that I had stamped before. So I'm rolling these two, and then I'm going to glue them on the end as if it looks like a roll of a paper. I will do the same thing with the other one. And after that, I will ink using vintage photo distress ink all over these rolls of paper. I just want to make them look like very old rolls of paper. So I am distressing them nicely with this vintage photo ink. I'm going to tie this jute twine both around both of these. So I'm putting them together and I'm tying this jute twine. So it looks like these rolls of paper are tied together with a jute twine. So once that is done, this roll of papers, these little ephemeras, they will go on top of the tag, and I will use PVA glue to stick them on the tag. So I want to work more on this tag. I have this nice stamp, and I have already stamped using black ink on this thick cardstock paper. These are little watches, and I think that they will look nice for a masculine style tag. So I stamped it already, and I am cutting one of the this clock faces. And once that is done, I will distress it again using vintage photo distress ink, and after that I will paste it on the tag. I also decided to use this chipboard key. I have this from my stash, and I want to have it on the tag. And before I paste it, I wanted to color it a bit. So I have this color in this also is Tim Holtz color. I have it in brass. It's a metallic brass color, and I am going to paint all over this key, and after that I will paste it on the tag. I also decided to use a bit of washi tape on the background of my tag. This washi tape has also a very nice old antique look, so I decided to use a few strips of washi tape on the background. I think this tag looks quite done now. In the end, I decided to use this metal paper clip, and I'm just putting it in the one of the corners of the tag just to give it a more dimension and interest. In the end, I punched a hole on top of the tag, and I am taking this jute twine, wrapping it around a number of times, and then putting it through that hole, which will act as tie of this tag. So this is how this tag looks in the end, and I made two more tags off camera. So guys, if you found this video tutorial interesting and useful, please let me know through your comments, and like my video, subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate, and I will see you very soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye.